it should say this hangout on there is live, and it is. So this is yet another video of my long-running code kata and building a get ride application. And so specifically, I could say something like 21. Oh shoot, what was all this over here? Um, okay, I don't know what that was about. Specifically, I could say something like 21 Jump Street, and then East 99th, St. Clair. And I can go ahead and get that price. When I click the price button, it'll have the pickup location, 21 Jump Street, the destination, East 99 St. Clair. It says $5, right? The actual map, I still have to wire up the inputs of the two points, and it would generate like an actual route. That hasn't been done yet, but just imagine that it's there. And then this pay with right here, I could say like Visa, and then I could request a ride. So then here we say looking for drivers. Oh, shoot, that's a bug right there. It shouldn't show the license plate. All this is mocked out services, right? Arrives in 3 minutes. It finds John Roach. Here's his license plate number. And then I have another mock notification saying you're on your way. And then there's a ride ended page eventually when the ride ends, and that'll probably provide the driver the timestamp of when the ride ended and any other details that may be relevant for a ride ending. Okay. Um, you also have this account over here where you can register your bank cards or remove them. So I'll remove my Visa card, I'll add a new card, and I will say that the name of the card is Scott Nimrod, and that the card type is Discover, and the card number is going to be something like that. And expiration month is going to be 5, expiration year is going to be 23, and the code is going to be some arbitrary number. So then I could just say add, and now I have my Discover card right here. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Let's say that I wanted to do, I don't know, let's say 21 Jump Street again, and East 99th and St. Clair. And just to review what I need to change on here, pay with Discover card, that's what I recently added. And request ride, I need to get rid of this license plate right here. So in the state that the license plate is awaiting a driver, it should be visible. When it finds a driver, only when the driver is found, that license plate should be visible. Okay. So it should not be visible when it's awaiting a driver. It should be visible when it finds a driver. In order to accomplish that, I should be able to go into await ride. I'm missing something. Where's my Test Explorer at? Yeah, I'm not sure how that got down there. Okay, so for await ride, this is the XAML right here. And there should be a, wherever my license plate is, there's status, there's driver, there's vehicle. And this is what I want. I want to take this as visible and paste it for the line that has the plate. And I think this is it right here. So hence I hard coded a plate number. which I also need to bind that to the actual plate of the vehicle. And so I'll go ahead and say that I don't know where I should put it. I'll put it right here. That is visible is going to be bound to this right here. And this might be okay, but I recently added a property on my view model called state, which is this right here. And so this state should probably include a driver found. This is awaiting ride. That should probably be finding driver. Something like that. Now this is probably going to break some things. But if we go over here, the state is finding driver, so that should be fine. If I go back to my XAML over here, this driver found message to bool converter, that should no longer rely on the status message. This should really be driver found to message bool converter. Get rid of the message, rename that, and this value over here should probably be value as, all right, so over here we'll just put it within braces and say that our value as state say var state equals value as state, and then we can say return, in this case, state dot, you can say is driver found, which I still have to compile for that to show up in the IntelliSense. So that's what it should really be. So sooner or later that'll build. I don't need this import over here. What else? While that's still building, oh, the build completed. State dot, and it's still not finding the driver found part. So if I go back over here, let me see. Okay. State dot is driver found. Okay, that's right there. So now that should now compile, and we have the type converters driver found, message symbol is not found. But when I click on it, nothing is showing up. Okay. And I'll make sure that, yeah, right here, get rid of the message. Okay. And over here, get rid of the message. And over here, get rid of the message. And apparently it's in a lot of different places. Get rid of the message part. Get rid of the message part over here. And that appears to be okay. So now if I attempt to build it, in the meantime, I'll go back to this. Everything finally builds. There's a couple other things that I want to do. So driver found. Here's a constructor in F#. When you see this do, and then a whole bunch of statements to be executed, I just want to make sure that I register these states right here based on the handlers for these notifications right here. So for example, this on driver found should have a x dot state, say driver, driver found, like that. And so that's the driver found one. On pickup time update, that one I think is okay. The on pickup time update is also driver found, but I don't think I have to do anything there. What else? The on en route update, that right here, the state is already assigned to en route. I'll just be consistent with the driver found one, and I'll make the very first property to get set. And then the on end of ride, that performs the navigation. In this case, how do I want to do this? I could have a let on end of ride, and then this is details. And then this will actually be equal to that right there. But we should over here say x dot state going to be mutated to, I don't know, state dot isn't this isn't making sense. This is in F sharp. Okay, okay. Let me get rid of this right here. In route and state dot end of ride. Uh-oh. Okay. Compiler's smart enough to understand the overloaded terminology because end of ride is defined in different places across this domain. And so we set the state and then we broadcast that the ride is ended to our handlers. That's going to do a navigation. And well, for cosmetic, the code could probably read like this: driver found on pickup, time update, on en route, on end of ride. All right, so it kind of follows a chronological order. Now what? In the XAML, is en route to bool converter over here. Is this even being used anywhere? It is. That's it right over here. And that looks okay. All right. So, amongst other things, I believe that the original intent was to hide the license plate until the driver is found. And so that should be able to be demonstrated. And I'll launch this application again. And so sooner or later, this app will get rendered. And that's fine. All right. So pick up, let's say MIA, CLE, price $5. And then say Visa, request ride. Okay. So, I need to update my XAML because this visible should be looking at states. Okay. And so more likely driver found bool converter. That should also be state over here. Okay. State over here. And if I keep going down, like, I should just make this whole thing. Come here. Should just turn this off. I need to update every instance right here. Instead of status, this should be state. Replace everything in the document. Okay. Run the app again. Again, this label over here for license plate, that needs not to be hard coded. It needs to be bound to the vehicle license plate, or should I say plate number. So that's still on my list of things to do. Let me run this. And we'll just quickly say MIA, CL, pay with, Visa, request ride. Looking for drivers. The license plate is now removed. That's what I wanted. John Roach is the driver that's found, but it's not showing the car or the plate number. So that needs to get fixed now. And then it's going to say end of ride. All right. So now what? Well, what needs to be, if I look back at this XAML over here, although it had the driver and displayed the status message of the driver, the actual image of the profile image of the driver and the license plate value, all that was still hidden. And so that's driver found to bool converter. If I look at this, it makes me think that the state where the driver is found isn't getting set. And we have one driver found right here in which that gets set in our awaitride.xaml. Our driver found to bool converter again says state.isDriverFound. Oh, or you can say state dot I don't want to do a whole bunch of ors. The driver is found if it's one of any of these states. The driver is found if state is not finding a driver. I think that should be it. If it's not finding a driver, then that state can be a number of states. It could be end of ride, en route, driver found. As long as it's not as long as it's not finding a driver, then that bool should be set to true, and our visibility or is visible in our XAML should be true for all other states after it finds a driver, which means that our profile image and our license plate should be displayed on the app. And that should work. Even if it doesn't work, that code that I recently updated is correct. So now Launch this yet again. And the application is hanging right now. Okay, so now I can hit continue. And pick up CLE, destination MIA, price. Okay, and then pay with, and say that right there, request ride, looking for drivers, John Roach, and that's still not showing what I need. So now I need to put a breakpoint right here. Because this still isn't showing the profile image or the plate number. And that driver found converter, I mean, that's being used in a number of different places. So that should be getting updated. It's visible bound to state. So now that I have a breakpoint on the value converter, launch this and MIA, CLE, price, pay with, MasterCard, request ride. This is finding driver, finding driver. Finding driver. I should just add this to the watch window. Okay. And immediately hits ride ended. So I could throw in some code under here and say, this is temporary code, and say if state not equal to state dot is or state dot finding driver, then and then just put a breakpoint right here. Okay. Chances are I don't think that's going to get hit, which means that if I go to this await ride over here, again, I'm updating where am I at? On en route, I'm updating the state. Driver found, I'm updating the state. And my machine is hanging. If I go to state, the state should be registering a notify property change, so that should be working. The application is still bootstrapping. And you can say MIA, and you can say CLE, and price. Hit request, looking for drivers. Yeah, so this value converter is not being hit again. This driver to bool found converter. This isn't being hit again, saying is visible. Now, if I look at my output window, do I have any binding issues? Go over here. look for crap. Look for binding, and there's no issues there. No issues there. So another thing that I could do is I could set breakpoints in here. Where am I at? I'm in the await ride. Set breakpoints in here and say that on driver found, put a breakpoint here. Okay. When this line gets executed, that state is supposed to get mutated and set a notification right here. That notification should hit this driver found to bool converter because it's being referenced all throughout the XAML in here. In this case, this is the vehicle. Yeah, so if I run this out again, I'm waiting for the application to boot up. And this is taking a longer amount of time. MIA CLE price. Pay with that request. Looking for drivers. All right. We our on driver found handler is getting ready to execute. We change the state to driver found. If I step into that, when I hit this notify property change, that should take me to a value converter that my XAML is referencing for state because I'm referencing states right here. Converter equals static resource driver found to bool converter. That's what should happen. And it's not. It's not happening. And I know why. Because it says quote and it doesn't say state for relaying the property changed. That's it. It's copy paste. Everything else is fine. This was the reason. It was saying notify property change quote instead of notify property change state. Everything should work now, right? So now launching the application again. And I'm absolutely confident that this is going to work now. Well, this is bootstrapping. I think I got a message on my phone. Okay. No, this is taking a longer and longer amount of time to run the app. It's getting longer and longer to launch this application. Parts of me wants to stop it and run it again. Hold up. Okay, it wasn't being ran in the first place. So now I'm running it again. And let me go to the output window. Visual Studio is hanging. All the more reason for me to upgrade my laptop. Yeah, this is taking a long time. Yeah, everything's frozen. And this is when things take a long time to develop software. When you run into issues of lack of test automation, which I have tests in here, but also just the machine itself. Why is it taking so long to bootstrap? And again, it stopped. So I'm not sure what happened in here. If you notice up here, it's no longer running. So I'm going to close out everything, close all documents, close Visual Studio, close this Android right here, relaunch Visual Studio. Run the app. And if this still fails to run, then I'll just terminate the video. All right, so now the app is launching. Okay, CLE, MIA, price, pay with, Visa, request, looking for drivers. Now we hit it. Now we get the profile images, John Roach, the Lamborghini. All right, cool. So let's do that again without the breakpoints. Run this. So let's do this one more time to actually observe the user experience. Pick up, say MIA, destination, CLE, price, and then pay with is Visa, request ride, looking for drivers, driver found, John Roach, boom, boom, arrives in 3 minutes. And then after that, you're on your way. Here's a call. Here's a message. That's missing. Okay. So that's a little bit better. There's a call and message button that doesn't show up. That should show up once your driver is found. So specifically for this await ride, there should be a let me see how we do this. This driver found the bool converter. We said can be anything as long as it's not finding the driver. And so there were some buttons in here that needed to be displayed. This en route to bool converter, this should probably be deleted. Because this is based on is visible for the buttons only, and that's just not necessary anymore. It should reference the driver found to bool converter, which is this right here. And so should do this over here. And when I run this, these buttons should now show up. And did my phone just go off again? Okay. All right, so now launch the application. Pickup, say CLE, destination MIA, price. Price. Pay with MasterCard, request ride, looking for drivers. John Roach, boom, arrives in 3 minutes. Here's a call message button that now shows up. You're on your way, meaning that you should be en route. Ride ended. So the only other thing that is wrong with that is that driver found to bull converter should be changed to, here's the en route bull converter right here. So maybe this en route bull converter can still be used, but what it needs to do is it needs to be a driver needs to be found for those buttons to be visible, hence the call button, the message button. And it's only when you're en route should those buttons be hidden because they're no longer relevant. So this right here is en route. Should be something like return. It should be something like return state dot is driver found and not en route. But that's not, let me see. This is finding driver. So state dot return is not finding driver and is not en route is when you want to display those buttons. So if I do that, when I do that, then I think the call and message button should go away when we're en route. Because if you're en route, then the system should be smart enough to track your GPS position and then the driver's GPS position and say, well, you guys both share the same position. And as you're moving, you still have the same positions or share the same positions. It's safe to say that you guys are legitimately together in the same vehicle. And so that's what that logic kind of takes into consideration. So if I go back over here, pick up CLE, destination MIA, and then I say price, and then I pay with Visa, request ride, looking for drivers, and then John Roach, whatever, arrives in 3 minutes. You see the call and the message buttons right here. And then you're on your way. The message buttons now go away. Then ride ended. All right. And yeah. Boom, 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 boom. That's pretty much it. For the ride ended, which is over here, this is bound to the ride ended view model, which is this over here. And so it needs to map to a couple things like the driver. So, for example, I'm trying to find. Oh yeah, I gotta get rid of this hard-coded thing right here. I'll work on that in another video. So I'm out.